All right. See, we started with permission set, right? If you remember. But then there was something strange happened that I designed a permission set. It was not working properly. Let me once again see to this. And I didn't get the time to look into this. What I did is like, I created a permission set called development user. And I have enabled few things onto this permission, but I know what's happened with this. One second. So when we go with the profile, so we enabled everything onto the profile. He was having this standard user profile. And then we enabled everything onto this profile, right? If I go with edit button, and then when we scroll it down to the custom object permission, we can see that everything is enabled properly to him. Now I wanted to restrict few of the things from the permissions, so that's why I have created this permission set, wherein in the object level, I did a few changes in, I think it was candidate object. Yeah. So I did few changes in the candidate that I make it read only. And then these are few of the fields which I make it disabled. But eventually it was not working in the way we was expecting. And I'm yet to, oh, what is this? Sure. I'm yet to see like why it's actually being happening with this. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Don't worry. Let me first of all investigate. Did I'm missing something? Did I'm doing something wrong with this? So I need to have an investigation. We'll see. We're going to see this. Now, these are the two things which actually is left out, because with the mask update also I didn't get the time to replicate the way which I have designed it. All right. So these are the two things which is still pending from in my bucket. Now let me start with the record types. So what is a record type? All right. I'll show you something first of all, and then we're going to move further with this. I don't have that creds. Oh, this credentials has been expired. So I cannot put up live example for this, but I can do one thing. See, first of all, what does it means by record types? All right. So let's consider that you're having this object account. All right. Now let's consider that we are building a kind of requirement where account itself have different forms. All right. Let's consider that account is of type saving, account is of type loan, or maybe the account is of the type current. All right. Let's consider that we are having one requirement with us where account itself has a different forms. I cannot do it like this. I cannot create three separate objects called saving account, loan account, and current account. Rather, we wanted that inside in the account itself, there must be three separate options. All right. When you try to enter a new account, it should ask you what type of account record you wanted to enter. Is it a saving, loan, or maybe a current account? Now, according to that, the interfaces should also appear to be different. Because obviously the fields which are there inside saving account should be there inside saving only. For loan and for current account, we must have separate fields. So every one of them should have a different page layout along with a different set of different set of custom fields, or some different set of fields. So this is where is a requirement. This is what is a requirement where we need to introduce something called as a record types. This is a place where we require to build up something called as a record type. I can show you that. I was planning to show you with UA, but yeah, I have that in IDEC as well. Let me try to show you this. Stop this record. I'm going to repeat this. Don't worry. Yeah. So what is right now? What is happening is like what is happening right now is like when you make a click onto the book, so it will make you to land onto the default page layout. For every object, there is a default page layout for every object. Now, if you wanted to have record types, you wanted to divide this object book into three different forms. Like, if you wanted to enter a record of a book, it might be a record of a book history, or maybe a geography, or maybe a science. All right. So when I would select this option, I should see an entirely different page layout, entirely different user interface. So this is what we are trying to build. So right now, as you can see, there's only one page layout. There's only one page layout. That is a default one. But I wanted to create some new page layouts as well. So what I'm going to do, I'll click onto this new button. And then if you wanted to clone it from existing page layout, you can select. Otherwise, you can have their own sort of name for this. So I would be giving the name as, for example, history. Sure. History. All right. This is my first page layout. Fields I'm going to enter. I'll show you two different ways for this. All right, I'll show you two different ways for this. Right now, I'm not going to add anything into that. I'm just saving and getting out from this. So now I have one more page layout called as history. I would create one more. I would be creating like science, and I would be just saving this. And what I did, I will be creating one more page layout called, let's say, language. Saved. All right. See, now I have three different custom page layouts: history, language, and science. Now I would go further and create the fields from this, right? So I would be creating fields like all text field I would be going to create, maybe whatever it would be. So text, I'm going to give the name as maybe like history field 1. Length I'm giving as 255. And I'm making it visible to all of the profile users. All right. Here in real time, what we usually don't do it like this. I mean, what we actually do is like, we make it available for the users. For example, now you can understand you are the system admin. So if you wanted, this field should be visible to you. And there are few more users, like for example, 2808 platform user and 20 standard. So you make this selection wisely, right? It's not the case like every time you make it visible for everybody. So because we were in the training part, so I did this. Mostly I did the same. But in real time, it's like you doesn't make it available for everybody. Rather, you decide to which user this field should be going to be get visible, right? So that is one thing. And then next. Now, because you are creating a field called history field, you don't wanted it to be landed onto every layout. That was the reason, I have created page layout first. I could also do one thing. I could make the field. I cannot make it landed to everybody. And then I'm going to show you that second option as well. But I wanted you to feel the difference. That's the reason I first have created layouts. Now you can see that this is a field you're about to create. Where do you wanted this field to be get present? Where do you wanted this field to be get landed? Right now, every option is selected, but I don't wanted this to be get happen. So I would be, because this field is, we are creating this for a layout called history. I would only select history layout. Understand? This is the reason, see, why I have created page layout first and then make you come over here. Understood? So, all right. So I wanted this field to be get landed on the history page layout. I would save it and save a name. I'll create at least 2 to 3 fields. Let's have this one checkbox. History field number 2. And then I would make it once again. Same process. I would be repeating the same process. I'm making it visible for everybody for now. I don't want this to get landed everywhere. Rather, I wanted this to present only onto history layout. So I've selected this one, 7 new. one more field. Let's take it as a currency one. You can take for any data type, just not try with quick list, because for that you would going to for that you would obviously require to enter the values and all. So history field number 3, and the next, I'm making it visible for everybody. I wanted this to get landed onto the history layout, only history layout, and then save, right? So what I did is, like, I have created one layout called history, one layout called as history page layout, and I've added all these three fields. I've added all these three fields into that, right? Look, so now let me do this, like, what is the next language? I would creating few more fields, like I would be creating let's consider a date field, and I'd be giving the name as like language field number 1, and I would make it visible for everyone. And this, again, we don't want this to get present on every layout. Rather, because this field belongs to language, I'll make it available only on the language page layout, and then save this. Oh, I have to save a new. Anyways, let me repeat the same thing. Let me create an email field. You can create for this is just an example. I'm not interested in data type of field at all. I would be giving the name as 2. And then next, oh my God. Yeah, so I would be giving the name as 2. And the next, making it visible for everyone. Next. And let me select the language layout only and save a new. Next could be like a checkbox. I'm giving the name as 3. Possible. And then selecting language only. All right, so I created 3 more custom fields, which I'm going to use inside different record types. Now we have one more page layout called as science. I would be creating 3 more fields for science page layout. Let me take as date and time. Science field number 1. And let me copy this first of all. Yeah. And because this belongs to science, it should present onto the science layout only. Let me take email. And this time it is field number 2. And then science only. Let me save this one. All right. See, now we have these many number of the fields, and we have 3 separate page layouts. Actually 4. This one is standard. Apart from the standard page layout, we have history, language, and science. Now, if you would go to the book, you're not going to find any difference right now. You will not going to find it. When you make a click onto the book, right? If it would try the new, you would not going to find any differences. Why? Because we haven't enabled record types yet. So whenever we wanted to enable record types, whenever we wanted to have different record types, the first thing would be like, you would first of all would require to create something called as different page layouts. And accordingly, you'll have to adjust the fields inside that. You'll have to adjust the fields inside that, right? So let me now create the record types. Let me now create the record type. So when you scroll it a little bit more, you are going to find something called as a record type. All right. And in the top also, there would be a link for this. So I can go with record types, right? Now, Presently we don't have any record types. Presently we don't have any record types. So I would be clicking onto this new button. And let me give the name as the first is history. I should give the name as history books. All right. And if you want to give any description, it's all right. You can give it. Otherwise, you can skip. Now, this record type should be available to which user? I mean, if the user would make a click onto the book and then make a click onto this new button, who is going to see this? So this is that choice. And you know this, right? This is a very default thing. So it should be available with every one of them. You can make a selection accordingly, but I wanted this to be get available for everybody. And so I'm clicking onto this next button. Now, to which profiles you wanted this to be get applied. Here is the second. The first is like which user. All right. Now I can select a different of profile over here, or else what you can do would be like, no, just skip that part right now. Skip it for now. You know, I'll show you something somewhere else, like where exactly this second option would occur, right? Right now we wanted only one page layout for every one of them, right? And I'll save this. I would save this. Book layout, and I would save this. This is a little bit different in how we see this in Lightning. I'll do one more thing. Hmm. Let's go to the record type once again, and let's click onto this page layout assignment. So this is something additional step in Classic. In Lightning, this is a part of navigation. Once you make click next, you automatically would be granted onto this. But in Classic, this is an additional additional step. So once you have created this record type, let me go back to show you something. So once you have created a record type, right? I have created a record type called as history book. Or let me first of all create all three of them. History books I have created. Let me create like a science book, S-A-N-C-E, science book, right? And I would make it active. I'll make it available for everyone. And then I'll click onto this next. One second. ठीक है. Science. I think I committed a mistake in the previous example. Just let me confirm that. Save. I committed a mistake. I think you'll have to edit that one. I think is that record type history. I'll just try to edit this once again. History book. Anyways. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. Let me create one more record type. So I would go to history book ho gaya, science book ho gaya. Let me create one more. The last one called language. Language books. I would be making this active. Make it available. Click onto this next. And I would select as language and save. Now, see, once you have created all those record type, you'll have to make an assignment. So this is an additional step, which in the Classic, but in the Lightning, it's a step that comes in the same navigation. So I have to make certain assignments. I'll go with page assignments over here, and you just have to do C for this. So first of all, just try to find out the user. So if the user is system admin, because we are system admin, right? We are system admin, we have to understand. So you can skip master for now. And for history, as you can see, for this user, right? What I wanted you to understand, one second. I'll highlight this. Not that one, system administrator, this one. Now try to understand this cell. This is something which is essential. So there are actually four different page layouts, right? This was the default one. This was the default one. But if someone's a system administrator makes a selection of this, what layout should he see? So he should see book layout. That is all good. That is okay. That is okay. But when he make a selection to history books, he should not see book layout, right? So here, as I told you, I committed a mistake over here, and it's good that I committed that mistake, because now you will going to understand how to make the differences. When a system administrator would make a selection called language book, what layout should he select? So he should see the language layout. If a system administrator would select science book, what layout he should see? He should see the science. So these two are fine. These two are fine, right? According to the selection. For a system admin, if he would select language books as an option, if he would select language books and as the option, he should see language layout. That is good. And it is as expected. Similarly, if a system admin would select science book as an option, he should see science layout. He should see the science layout. That is also is happening, right? But about this, you can see there is an ambiguity. If a system admin user would select history as an option, he shouldn't see history. What is right now is book layout. So this is something which have to change, right? So I'll have to change this. So what you have to do is, like, go with this option. Go with this option, make a click over here, book layout. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. Edit assignment. Yes, of course. Edit assignment. And select a page layout that needs to be used. I wanted to use history. I wanted to use history at this place. At this place. Right now it's book layout, but I wanted to use history. At this place, I wanted to use history. See, now it's got changed, right? Previously, it was book layout. And it's good, like, we committed that mistake, because अगर ऐसा नहीं करते तो शायद ये आपको मैं बता नहीं पाता था, right? तो ये बहुत अच्छा हुआ कि वो गलती से हमारी अच्छी चीज हो गई. Now for system administrator, if he would select master, I mean, he wouldn't select anything. He's going to see that standard book layout. If he would select a history, he would going to see history layout. If he would select language, he would going to see language. And for science, he would going to see the science. Now let me save it. All right, done. Everything has been done. There's only small thing, one small thing has been left, which I'm going to show you. Now I'll make book. Okay. And I click on new, see. अब ये आपको directly master layout पे नहीं लेके जा रहा. It's asking you to select the book record type. There are 3 different record types. You will have to select them. If you would continue with, like, history books, if you click with this, you are going to see the fields of history. Name would be always everywhere. Why? Because name is a mandatory field. Whenever we create an object, there are 5 fields, the 5 standard fields that gets created automatically, isn't it? Name, ID, created by owner, last modified by, all these fields. So they are going to be appear on every layout. There's no exception into this. All right. So you can see this. Now, if I would select, for example, I would select language, and I make a continue into this, I'm going to see the fields of language only. And I would select, if I would select what? If I would select science, I'm going to see the science fields, right? So this is how, like, we design some of the real-time interfaces where we segregate an object, and based on different types, we create their record type. So what is the step number 1 with this? You first of all should have a different page layouts, and then create the record type, and then adjust the fields into this. So how, if for example, you there is some field which is not there inside this layout. So let me show you how you can do that. So I can go with edit layout. All right, I can go with the edit layout, and I could decide, for example, just for a case, for example, into the science layout, I wanted this record, price of the book. All right, and I wanted ISBN number as well. So I can bring it over here and I can save this. Now, if you go back, you will going to see those fields as well. Price of the week. ISBN number is an auto number. That's the reason you will not find it. Once you enter the record, it's going to be generated automatic. But at least this is something would have been added. If I would enter a record over here, if I would enter a record, all right, I'm going to see the ISBN number as well. That's an email. See, this is something called a system validation rule. Now you can see the ISBN number as well, right? So this is like how we design some real-time user interfaces, right? So take this by today in practice. I have these two topics pending with me. I'm going to see to this. Tomorrow, I'm going to start with field dependencies. All right. That's all for today. You have any questions? Let me give you this command. Now you can unmute yourself if you wanted to ask anything. Yeah. Yes. Any questions? Anything, guys? कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं आप लोग? Anything, guys? All right, then. Thank you so much for joining.